These are the brand new Shokz OpenFit Pro, and I've been wearing them for about 2 weeks now, wearing them on bike rides, on runs, for different workouts, and just while I'm working at my desk. And these have one huge new feature that differentiates them from pretty much all other open earbuds, which fixes a huge problem. A lot of open earbuds do a great job of letting you hear your surroundings, but if the surroundings are a little bit too loud, it can be very difficult to hear your music, and these allow you to find the perfect balance between that with active noise reduction. I'll talk more about this later, but it performed a lot better than I expected. Now, Shokz sent these over ahead of time and asked me to partner up on this video to make an honest review of my experiences. So in this video, I will be talking about pros and cons throughout the video. We'll also get into some actual tests so you can see for yourself. We'll talk about the sound bleed on these. We'll do a microphone test. We'll talk about sound quality. And of course, the different features and aspects that you need to know when choosing if you want to buy these earbuds or not. So let's start off with the design. The earbuds themselves are, of course, an open design. That's what Shokz is really well known for, which makes these particularly good for working out. You can put these over your ear, and we've got the nice hook right there, so they stay on very securely. If you're running, if you're doing any kind of workout, really, it's pretty difficult to get these to fall off. But the real win, and the reason people gravitate towards this design for working out, is because you can hear your surroundings very well. It's not some transparency mode that you need to rely on. If you're cycling on a road, for example, or running on a road, or anywhere that you need to hear your surroundings, having your ear open is the safest and best way to do that. Now, I'll talk more about the earbud itself, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's talk about the design of the case first of all. The case is rather slim, and it has this nice metallic look all the way around the outside. There's two different colors. There's black and there's white. And on the back, you can see USB Type-C charging. This also has Qi wireless charging, so you can set it on a wireless charging pad. And when you open it up, it has kind of a soft close. Honestly, it's pretty satisfying to open and close it. It's not the smallest footprint in this dimension right here, but you can see when you open it up, I'm not sure how Shokz could actually make the case any smaller. They're kind of restricted by the geometry of the earbuds to this basically being the smallest case they could make. Inside, we've got a button to put these into pairing mode, and of course, we've got a little LED indicator on the front to show you if it's in pairing mode or what the battery level actually is. Also, the battery life on these is 12 hours in the earbuds and 50 hours when you include the case. And 10 minutes of charging will give you 4 hours of listening. Now, let's talk about the earbuds themselves, the fit, the comfort, how they work. You can see we've got kind of a solid piece that's gonna hang right over the outside of your ear. You can see the speaker on the inside. You can see the two nodes for charging. You can see the microphones throughout here. And the earbuds each have a button that has kind of a little reddish orange line on it. It blends in really well, but when you feel with your hand, it makes a lot of sense. You can tell exactly where that button is, and it's pretty easy to press. Buttons, instead of capacitive touch sensors, have an advantage if your hands are wet or sweaty, or if you're wearing gloves, maybe you're outside on a run in the winter, capacitive touch just wouldn't work. So buttons are going to be more reliable in that aspect. We'll talk more about the controls in a minute, but you can see we've got the silicone piece that kind of is very flexible and holds this little back piece, which presumably is just a battery in there, and that's gonna hang behind your ear, and the combination kind of pinches onto your ear in a way that is not really intrusive at all. It's pretty comfortable. I feel like I could wear these for a really long time, and because they don't go in your ears never get hot, they never get stuffy, and yeah, they're very comfortable for a long time. It's pretty easy to forget you even have these in your ears. Some things I wanted to look at with these would be, one, how do they interact if you're wearing a hat? Fortunately, wearing a hat, it doesn't seem to impact these at all because they are a little bit lower than at least my ears. Everyone's ears are different, but I'm pretty confident hats should not be a problem. I've even worn like a beanie on this as well if you're running in the winter, which I am right now. And again, it's very comfortable. I find that it's not a problem at all. They do interact potentially with sunglasses. Any earbuds that have a hook over the top could interact with your sunglasses, and it depends on what kind of glasses you're wearing. My sunglasses are still just fine. They do sit like a little bit higher, but as long as you have, sunglasses that have a good fit on your head, they didn't fall off for me, but that is something you want to be aware of if you're wearing sunglasses. As far as stability with these, if you shake your head a lot, they maybe move like really, really small amounts, which you would think would make them fall off, but they absolutely never fall off. I've done a lot of different workouts with these. It's very, very difficult to get these to fall off of my ears. Getting back to the controls, I know I mentioned there was a button right there. The button is pretty intuitive. Like you just reach up and it's kind of just right at the top of where the silicone meets the kind of firm, solid piece there. And there's a button. It's very easy to press. It has pretty good tactile feel on it. And you can press it once, twice, 3 times, or you can press and hold it. Or they have another one where you can press it once and then press and hold it. So a lot of different controls, and once we get into the app, you can see what these controls actually do. I think I would like to see a second button on these to do volume a little more intuitively, but at the same time, having an extra button is just more that your fingers need to learn. So this is very easy to just, you always have one button on each side. The sound quality on these have 5 different presets and 2 custom EQs in the app. Open earbuds always need to be reviewed as well as their own thing, in my opinion. I can't compare these to studio over-ear headphones. Like, they're obviously very different things that are made for very different use cases. But for open earbuds, these do offer a ton of volume. I find that I'm often listening to these at like 30 or 40% volume. Very rarely do I turn it up above that unless you're, obviously next to a really loud and busy road. So it's nice that you have that flexibility with how much volume you actually need out of these. And they do seem to have better bass than some other models thanks to the dual diaphragm architecture. The only thing with open earbuds is sometimes they can be a bit sibilant. These aren't really too bad, I have to say. Like, they sound pretty decent, pretty well balanced. And the sound, another thing that most open earbuds do struggle with is the position of the earbuds drastically affecting the sound. So with these, the sound is actually very forgiving of the fit, since these could theoretically fit on different ears in slightly different orientations. I tried wearing these wrong, you try moving them around a little bit, and the sound is pretty much very consistent no matter how I wear them. Unless you push them like way into your ears, then they actually sound better and a little bit louder. But overall, wearing them normally, I think you're not gonna have a problem with, like, for example, well, I shouldn't say who, but some other earbuds in the past, one subtle movement would really change how these sounded. These right here, that's not a problem. I wish open earbuds format allowed for a little bit more detail and high-end control, but I mean, of all the open earbuds I've tried, these certainly sound more than good enough. Plus, I primarily wear these when I'm running and working out anyway. And these have a really cool extra feature in them. So even though they're meant to hear your surroundings, maybe you don't always want to hear every single sound around you. Maybe you want to cut out like the droning sound, a little bit of like distant traffic and HVAC or something like that. These do really well by having a noise reduction mode, which is basically the same thing as active noise cancellation. It's going to play the inverse wave of the sound coming into your ears to cut out things like I said, HVAC or something like that. So in extremely noisy environments, it doesn't block nearly as much out, obviously, because your ears are not plugged. But in modern environments where you have HVAC or outside traffic or other ambient noise, it's actually shockingly impressive. Like, it does so much more than I expected it to block out. There's also a slider in the app, so you can go all the way down to reduced, which is just blocking out the most basic sounds around you, but there's really no white noise with that. If you go up to default, it blocks a bit more. You do have a tad more white noise with that. And if you go all the way up to enhanced, it's able to block, like I said, a surprising amount out, but it is going to give you a bit more white noise and a bit more pressure in your ears. Otherwise, I mean, it's very impressive what they're able to do with open earbuds. It's honestly crazy. Otherwise, talking about the sound quality overall, bass lines come through very cleanly, vocals are intelligible and balanced. Overall, the balance is pretty solid. For a pair of open earbuds, I like it. Now, let's get into a microphone test, starting off with an indoor test. All right, so this is an indoor microphone test with the Shokz OpenFit Pro. Let me know how these sound to you. Obviously, we're inside, so this should be a fairly easy environment for them. And I have to say, I like that I can hear myself speak very naturally. I don't need to yell because my ears are obviously not plugged. But if you're wearing these maybe on a run, maybe you're outside and it's windy, you might be taking phone calls out there. So let's go outside and see how these perform next to a busy road. And as usual, the busy road test, I feel like I'm yelling because obviously I can hear all the background sound. Nothing's being filtered out from my ears. But let me know how these microphones perform if I were to answer a phone call by a busy road. Can you hear what I'm saying? Next up, I want to get into another test that I know is so interesting to me and a lot of other people who are looking at open earbuds, and that is going to be a sound bleed test. If you're wearing these, how much can other people hear your music or your podcast? How close does somebody have to be in order to hear what you're listening to? So for the sound bleed test, I'm just going to play some music at half volume. I'll hold the microphone like a pretty close. Like if somebody was sitting right here and they didn't hear your music, that'd be very impressive. I'll move it closer in case, I don't know, you just want to see if you can hear it when you get really close, but let's see how it works at half volume and then we'll go to full volume. I think this is a normal distance to sit away from somebody, maybe on a subway. Now if they sat really close, maybe right here, can you hear it? Now let's go back to this distance and we'll go up to almost full volume. It's like 90%. It's like hurts my ears, but I'll do it for the video. We'll go to 100. And if they were really close, I feel like I'm definitely yelling. This is really loud to me. And then back down to a normal listening volume and a normal distance away. So yeah, what do you think? Is there a lot of sound bleed? Can you hear what I'm listening to? Something that I haven't seen on any earbuds yet, so this is pretty cool to see this on these, is Bluetooth 6.1. And Bluetooth 6.1, I mean, most earbuds you see are like 5.4, so much more future-proof with Bluetooth 6. And 6.1, the main benefits are going to be like privacy and especially power efficiency, which is probably why we're getting such a good battery life on these earbuds. And taking a look at the app, you can see the earbuds right there. We've got the battery levels of the earbuds and the case. The noise control, as I mentioned, you've got open mode, which is just as it is. You can hear everything around you as you'd expect. It's obviously not playing outside sounds because that's completely not necessary for these. That's the main advantage of them. And noise reduction mode, as I mentioned, you've got a slider with, what is that, like 10 different settings there. And wow, I know I keep saying this, but it is kind of surprising how much these actually are able to block. We're able to optimize this for Dolby Atmos, and they do have head tracking as well, a feature that I personally rarely use on any headphones or earbuds. But if you like that for watching movies or just listening to music, it's kind of cool that you have that option here. We also have the basic sound effect settings, like I said, the different EQ modes. You've got the 5 presets here, and you can also customize it as well on the very bottom. And these do have multi-point pairing. So I said I was using them at my desk. You can connect to my laptop and my phone. It's a MacBook and a Pixel, so not even the same ecosystem. And it switches between them very well. So if I get a phone call, even though I'm working on my MacBook, it'll switch over to my phone. I can answer the call, talk, and then when I hang up, it'll switch back to my MacBook. I always love that feature. It's kind of a standard for me. Like, I think I need to have that on a pair of earbuds, and I'm glad these do have that. The controls, as I mentioned, there are a lot of controls. The touch and then hold, so single click and then long press, I think is really interesting, but it's cool that you can customize every single one of these. So pressing it once, you can choose, actually you can't really do much with that one, but say triple click, for example, you can choose if you want to go previous, if you want to go next, if you want to do voice assistant, or if you want to disable any one of these. Maybe you're really bad at triple clicking and you accidentally double click every time, or you can just disable those entirely. Single click and long press would be for volume, is kind of the main thing you're going to be doing with that. And you can customize these for left and for right. So I do love the full customization of the buttons there. And we do also have Find My Earbuds. I'm not going to do it while I'm wearing them, but it just, actually, let me take it off, see what they sound like. I'll hold it near the microphone, so it gradually gets louder. I think that would be enough to find these in a room, or if you drop them on the floor or something like that. Pretty good for finding these. They also have smart wear detection, so they know when they're on your head that you take them off. It'll automatically pause your music or your podcast. Pretty nice they have that. They also have latency optimization down here, so if you're using them for gaming, for example, you can toggle that on. So the Shokz OpenFit Pro are a really unique pair of earbuds. So who are they going to be good for, and who are they not good for? I want to start off with who shouldn't buy these. I would recommend anyone who has your main priority to block out sounds. Obviously, you shouldn't buy these. These are open earbuds. So if you're flying a lot, you're commuting a lot, you have a lot of really loud sounds, and you just want to block all of that out, you should find some closed-tip earbuds that seal your ear and give you that passive noise blocking plus active noise cancellation. Another group that probably shouldn't buy these would be anybody who has the sole priority of the best audio quality possible. If you're looking for studio audio quality and that's your main goal, again, you could find other earbuds for your uses. But who should buy these and who would really appreciate them? I think these solve a huge problem for a very specific crowd. And that could be anyone who's running on sidewalks or trails, and you still need to be aware of your surroundings, but you don't want to have all the ambient noise. You don't want to turn your volume all the way up on your music. These definitely solve a problem there. You can still hear bike bells coming behind you. You can still hear traffic, but you can hear your music a little bit better. Same thing with anyone who's a cyclist. And by the way, you don't even need to use these with the noise reduction all the time. If you find that you want to hear more of your surroundings, you can turn that down or even turn it off. So it does give you a lot of flexibility with that. And the third category I'd recommend these to is anyone who is working at a desk all day and you want something very light and comfortable on your ears. You want to hear your surroundings. You don't want your ears to be totally sealed off for risk of infection or whatever reason it might be. Maybe just your ears feel hot. The open style is actually quite nice. And tying into that, lastly, I know a lot of people who just do not like their ears being sealed by earbuds, and these do still give you that active noise reduction to block out HVAC sounds and refrigerator sounds in your house while not plugging your ears. So those are the Shokz OpenFit Pro. I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to see colors or pricing or things like that in your area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.